Welcome to Pjyama preaching for Wednesday, the 3rd of March, where we continue Mark chapter 14, reading from verses 17 to 21, he says, checking his list. Jesus and his core team of 12 arrived that evening. As they reclined at the table, Jesus dropped a bombshell. One of you is going to betray me. Dismayed, they each began to say, "Surely you can't mean me." One of the 12 sharing this meal with me will betray me, Jesus repeated. I must follow the path laid out for me, but the one who betrays me is like a ship heading for the rocks. He'll wish he'd never been born. Now, we need to think on this one because, number one, Jesus knew what was going to happen. Number two, Jesus could see right into the heart of Judas. The curious thing is, though, that the other disciples seem to have no suspicions whatsoever. Thirdly, in the passage, we see Jesus offering two things to Judas. Firstly, he is making love's last appeal. It's as if he's saying to Judas, I know what you're going to do. Will you just not stop, even now at this point? And he's also offering Judas a last warning. He's telling him in advance of the consequences of the things that he has in his heart to do. But we must note that the essence of the way God deals with us is there's no compulsion. Without a doubt, Jesus could have stopped Judas. All he had to do was to tell the other 11 what Judas was planning, and Judas would have never left the room alive. So here is the whole human situation contained in that room. God has given us wills that are free. His love appeals to us. His truth warns us. But there is no compulsion. We hold the awful responsibility that we can spurn the appeal of God's love and disregard the warning of his voice. And in the end, there is no one but ourselves who is responsible for our sins. Barclay tells us that in Greek legend, two famous travellers passed the rocks where the sirens sang. The sirens sat on these rocks and sang with such sweetness that they lured mariners irresistibly to their doom. Ulysses sailed past these rocks. His method was to stop the sailors' ears so they could not hear, and in order to bind themselves to the mast with ropes so that however much he struggled, he would not be able to answer to that seductive sweetness. He resisted by compulsion. The other traveller was Orpheus, the sweetest musician of all. His method was to play and sing with such surpassing sweetness as his ship passed those rocks where the sirens were, that the attraction of the song of the sirens was never even felt because of the attraction of the song that he sang. So his method was to answer the appeal of seduction with a greater appeal. God is the second way. He doesn't stop us. Whether we like it or not, he doesn't stop us from sin. He seeks to make us love him so much that his voice is more sweetly insistent to us than all the voices which can call us away from him. So a lot to soak in today, and to think where we are with God. Can we see anything from the point of Judas? Can we see how he might have reached that decision to betray Jesus? What must have been going through his mind? What torments, what torture? Or was it just he'd already reached that point and thought, sod it, this is it, let's just do it? And how then, when Jesus challenged the anonymous disciple, how must you have felt then? So Lord, thank you that you love us. Thank you have given us freedom of will. But Lord, help us to understand and see your overwhelming love, so that we are overwhelmed by love. Amen. And if I can find it, I'll find the song Overwhelmed by Love, Deep as the Ocean, and I'll pop it down in the description. If you haven't subscribed already, if you like to click the subscription button, it just means that when I put a new video on, you should know it's happened. Anyway, God bless you. Take care.